Too smooth that mud talking to have your ass in a wreck. Signing your check. Pussy better do what he says. We shutting down shows. Ain't gotta put no price in your head. Man, I'm coming for your tongue for all that shit that you said.
Orale, welcome to Gunner's Profiles. Indubitably, yes indeedy, we're about to write some more graffiti on the bus. We're back at it, you already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict, right? And as you can tell by that thumbnail right there, yes indeedy, man, the homeboy, soldier boy, de Stockton, 6th Street. I thought if for no other reason I should profile this individual. You gotta understand, right here on Gunner's Profiles, man, I'm trying to do a little something different. I'm trying to give you guys profiles on spills on individuals that you probably would never have ran into, that were intricate into the historia of Chicanoism, as well as intricate into the history, right? The history of Norteñoism and Sureñoism. Real ones, people that have done real things, and not necessarily north and south. We're going to get into a lot of other gangs, a lot of other different things. But at the same time, in the meantime, in between time, I wanted to give the shine to those individuals that were really out there in them streets getting it, or even behind bars. We're going to get to all that, but without too much being said and just enough being spoken on, we're going to talk about the homeboy soldier boy that's Stockton, 6th Street, man. Stockton, stand up, 209 area. You already know what it is, man. Put on the map by motherfucking Mr. Nate Diaz and his homeboy or his brother, fucking Nick Diaz. But at the same time, man, them vatos, them norteños, and them sureños have been putting it down out there in the motherfucking 209 district. Don't get it twisted, taking flux capacitors and all kinds of other shit in Stockton for many decades. Trip. So the homeboy soldier boy. My first interaction with this vato, my first time running into him was a trip, okay? I ran into him in Fred C. Nellis. I'm locked up. I'm there, say, about 6 to 7 months. I get moved to Kennedy Hall, right? Which was a drug program. And the reason why they put the gun on the drug program was I tried to play him out of pocket and told him I had a drug issue so I could try to get some time knocked off and get out and get moved to OH and this and that. And I was trying to stay, go to OH close. It just didn't work out for me, right? In the end, they turned it on me, Chicano style, and they had a big old chistoso for the gun, and they sat my ass down there in a drug cottage with a whole bunch of 5150s and J-Cats. Now, of course, there was a lot of solid individuals, but for the most part, these were the vatos that were really aggressive, right? So, of course, like is the gun's luck, I end up there. So I'm there, man, and I know that a busload of norteños rolls up. See, when a busload of norteños would roll up at that time to what was Truman Cottage, they would basically grab a few of us norteños to go give them the rundown, you know, so that they weren't scared off easily by, of course, the sureños would go get at them like, Charlie, you guys can't use the microwave, you guys can't do this, you got to wear your shirts, this and that, which was propaganda, which was a way to get them to stop banging, which was a way to get them to back up like a crawdad, right? But of course, it was our mission and our job to go show canalismo and embracement and let the homeboys know, Charlie, all that shit was myths. Bigfoot wasn't walking the yarda, neither was the Loch Ness Monster. Who was Big Bad Skinner, Bad Boy, and a few other individuals. But anyway, so we hit Truman, me and the homeboy Spanky de Gilas, and there's a big homeboy there. And when I say big homeboy, I mean this vato was tall compared to us. He was probably like 6'1", 6'2" at this time, if I recall correctly. He was much bigger than us. You gotta understand, I was 12 years old at the time, so I was a little skinny, pimply-faced, ugly-ass norteño, right? But at the same time, I was about my issue. You know what I mean? I was as sharp-witted as my knife was. So I was down, and the homeboy Spanky was a little short, stocky vato out of Gilas rep in OSP. So we get there, and the homeboy Shadow from Richmond, Bad Boy from Sacra at that time, Boo from Stockton, and Soldier Boy from Stockton had rolled up with another vato de Salas, Tito de Salas as well, from Casitas. And so they roll up, and of course, we're thinking, okay, we got to give these vatos the rundown. It's going to be the same old love story. A couple of them are going to fall off the wayside. I'm probably going to sock one again. It is what it is, right? But these vatos were different. They were much different. They were coming from other institutions. They had been around the block in their own 6'4" a few times. These guys already kind of knew the rundown. They were getting there with an aggressive manner. They were like, Charlie Holmes, now it's time to establish. I was like, gracias. The wind is blowing perfectly today. Finally, my luck has changed. I might win the lotto around this camp. It was all good in the hood, right? And Soldier Boy struck me as very quiet, but very highly aggressive, meaning he was about the business, but he did it nonchalantly. That's what I liked about him, man. That's why me and him got close quick. We became fast friends. We became good carnales. And reason being that the vato was no nonsense. Didn't have the attitude. He didn't put off the attitude like he was scared or portray himself like it was too hard for the radio. He was just like, I'm here, bro, and I ain't going nowhere, Soms. Right? That was his attitude. And I like that. I like that because deep down inside I knew we couldn't go anywhere if we wanted to, right? And so I needed a soldado like that to have my back and to fight alongside of me, man. You got to understand, we were so outmanned and so outnumbered. Anything helped. So I don't give a fuck what it was. Give me a bar of soap. I wasn't using it to wash my body. I was throwing it in the sock and getting busy. That's how bad it was at that point in time. But he struck me as a cool individual. Anyway, so we chop it up with these guys. We meet him. And I remember he said he was from Stockton, 6th Street. Now, anyone that knows the history of Stockton, 6th Street, they're a very well-known barrio in the city of Stockton, right? Stockton, California, the 209. One of the most grimiest, grittiest, take your motherfucking Cadillac converter and flip it for the platinum type city, right? They're about that shit. Homeboys and norteños in Stockton have been established for a very long time. Shout out and respects to the Vato Macaron de Stockton, a true legend. You know, the Ministry of Defense, the real innovator in weaponry. So they got a lot of historia, you know, all the way back to the Little Unity days, all the way back to establishing some of the first regiments in California, things of that nature, right? We're not going to get too much into that. That's not my business. But at the same time, let's just say Stockton plays a big, intricate part into the historia of the Norte. That's a fact, first and foremost. So any vatos that came out of Stockton, and me having an abuelito that actually lived in Stockton was from Stockton. I remembered the city of Stockton as a youngster going there to get my haircut. My grandfather actually owned a barbershop that was located downtown Stockton right next to an ice cream shop. So I remember my dad used to take me out to go get my shit faded up, and then we'd go get me an ice cream cone. My grandfather, that was pretty much our relationship. I didn't know my grandfather that well, but every time my dad said, we're going to Stockton, right, I already knew. I got Rocky Road, right? I was good, and a fake, you know, first and foremost. So anyways, I get to chopping it up with him. He's telling me all about his Vario 6th Street gang, right? 6 Stone, right? And we get to chopping it up, and he's telling me, yeah, my body is pretty historic, man. We got a lot of good, righteous homeboys, from which I ran into a lot of his homeboys. Shout out to the homeboy Muggsy, Mumbles, just some real individuals out of that town. Youngster, lonely boy. So I'm like, yeah, cool, bro. And I start giving him my history into Stockton and how fucking, I got a little bit of a history with it. And it's all good in the hood, you know? So anyways, what happens is, these individuals, these 4 or 5 norteños, they get moved to a cottage, Monroe. Despensa la tiras, Poquilla de Salas actually rolled up with these individuals as well, right? So they all get moved to Monroe, which is, they broke in a new cottage. So we're hearing from Kennedy Hall, because, you know, Sasuke, like I've said in spills previously, you don't really know what's going on different buildings, only from what you hear, not what you see. They all keep everybody separated. You only see each other in the school area. It's rocking. Okay, these guys went and rocked the house. Sasuke, WWE, Orale Razor Ramon, R.I.P. He was like Razor Ramon. He was in there knocking fools out, giving them the razor's edge. Sasuke choke slamming people. We were hearing that they were actually fucking putting it down, right? Now, I'm not here to fucking dispel anyone's feelings or shit on anyone, defecate on anyone's character and say that the Sureños weren't rocking, because, oh, absolutely, they were handling their business. But these individuals that they sent were true hitters. These were guys from up north that were getting too aggressive, and Sasuke up north said, Vámonos, get these fuckers down south, man. Give them a taste of their own medicine. But Sasuke, they brought the Advil with them. They weren't playing. And Soldier Boy was the one I kept hearing his name. He was knocking people out. He was a knockout artist. Boop, 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 right? And I had never seen it for myself, so I couldn't judge a book by its cover. But everything I heard was, hey, he's a cool dude, but that fool's not the one to be fucked with. So the word started to travel around the institution, around the yardas. People were like, hey, that Norteño Soldier Boy, it's all point bulletin on him. We want to take him out. You know, I was hearing this from the Sureño side, because he's just fucking too much. Sasuke de Vato got hands of stone. This Vato's like a mix between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Rocky Balboa. Adrian, I just whipped your ass. Right, this is how he is. Okay, so we end up, one day they end up coming to my compa and telling me, Skinner, roll it up. I'm like, fuck, where am I going now, right? For a minute there, I thought I was happy, thinking I'm going back up north, but they were like, nah, you're going across the street to Madison. Now, I fucking said, Charlie, the madhouse? This was called the madhouse because these individuals were a little bit older, very highly aggressive. These were all the movers and shakers in the institution. These were all the Sureños that were about that business. You had vatos like Looney from Gardenia, Trooper from, I'm not going to say where he's from because he's up there now. But there was just a lot of individuals, Negro, de Pomona 12th Street, Orale, Negro, right? Some real hitters over there. So we knew that we were going to have to stand our ground and really put it down. This was the test of man. This was the test of time. This was the real test. All these fucking melees and everything we were involved in led up to this point. Once we broke this compa in, or if we were able to establish and plant our fucking flag right there in this compa, then we were doing real things, right? According to our agenda. And bam, they end up sending us. But not only did they send 4 or 5 of us from that compa, they actually sent a couple vatos from Monroe as well. One being Bad Boy from Stockton, Sakura, 36th Street, Franklin, and the other one being the homeboy Soldier Boy de Stockton. Thank God, because it was on and cracking. So I remember us getting there and then me actually getting to program and function alongside this homeboy. And he walked in and he said, "Don't trip. I'm knocking everybody out in here." And I was like, "Oh shit. That's what I'm talking about." Finally, we had someone on our side that had major hands and that was willing to, that was basically, it was nothing to him. He was like, "Bro, you're going to find out. Oh, they're going to learn today, right?" And I was like, "You guys done fucked up, right?" When I walked in, you done fucked up, right? This Soldier Boy. And everybody took a stance back, meaning all Southerners weren't scared. Nobody was spooked, man. They had vatos that had hands too. But it was like, okay, orderly. They got to take a double take because everything that they have heard up until this point was this vato had major hands. He was out there in the mean streets of Stockton and he utilized boxing skills. You got to understand, he started boxing as a youngster. So with that, the power, his size, his speed, his ability, like I said, to this day, this very day right here, that is the motherfucker that I seen with the best hands, period. And I've been in prisons after prison. Corcoran, Jamestown, Susanville, oh my, Tracy, here and there. And I can tell you right now, that ain't nobody I ever seen got more hands than Soldier Boy that stopped on 6th Street. In my personal opinion, from my personal view, right? But we get there. And of course, he's letting us know, like, "Hey, homies, fucking, these vatos are going to move on us. Don't trip, stick by my side." And that's what I loved about Soldier Boy was he always looked out for the younger homeboys. He always looked out for the skinny, small homeboys like me, Boo. The homeboys that, we were getting it. I ain't going to lie, man. I'd be sitting here lying if I'm telling you I'm beating up 20-year-old men. I was 12 years old, man. Motherfuckers was knocking my block off. But at the same time, I was fighting, though. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, I might not have been putting hands down, man, but I was pulling up. You feel me? And that's what meant something. That was what was real. That showed the true measure. That showed the cora, right? I had the cora, definitely, still do. Anyway, so I'm right there, and I'm loving the get down with them, the canalismo, the embracement. He's a real homeboy. He's got our back, Finally, we have, like, I won't say a protector, but someone that's on our side. That man is like, "Don't trip, little homies. I got you." And he was doing that. After that first day, a vato came up to us from 13th Street, Southside 13th Street. He said, "Hey, nothing's going to happen on this compa. It's going to be all good." We took it for what it was worth because we knew it was going to crack. That night, it cracked off. This was the melee I was involved in. I remember that night. It was storming rain. And they actually hit me with the pico de gallo. I got hit with the little fucking a bed spring. Someone hit me under my arm. Word on the curb was that it was a full Johnny boy from Pomona Troll Street. I ended up catching up to him in Carlton. So I gave him the raccoon. But until then, it was what it was. And I remember Soldier Boy pulling the pico out of my arm as we're maced and we're all against the wall in the day room. Chairs are everywhere. Blood's flying. He actually pulls it out of my arm and throws it so I don't get busted with it and I catch a case. And they put us all in a van. Me, him, Shadow, Spanky, 4 different poros. Yoker, oh, my shoes. Even that baboso, right? Who didn't even participate in the riot. He was ironing, watching. I don't claim. I'm just from San Leandro. You know what I mean? He was weird. Anyway, so they put us all in this fucking van. I remember that we're all maced up and they locked the doors and it was hot. It was hot, man. And to express that to you, and me and Soldier Boy, we talk daily, or not daily, but we talk, once a month. And he always tells that story. "Damn, bro, we went through this struggle. Remember that shit? Remember we're burning in that van? They left us in there for like 2 hours, locked in there, all maced up, just burning. It was hot. No windows were open. It was a form of torture and deprivation. And that's what they wanted. You know what I mean? But anyway, so we went through the emotions. That brought us all closer together as homeboys, and that gave me a lot more. I gained a lot more respect that day for Soldier Boy, the way he carried himself, and the protector that he was for the North and for the homeboys. Right? He was the big homie, and to this day, he's still my big homie. We're probably the same age, but I look at him as the big homie because righteously he deserved that. So, anyways, over time we started to establish in that building, and everything started to be good in the hood. And I remember the day that they told him to roll it up, that he was actually leaving to Carlton up north. That was a sad day in Texas, right? So I was pretty disappointed, not only because we were losing an aggressive soldado that was down, and the Sureños were like, "Ding dong, these bitches are dead, these bitches are dead." They were happy, right? But also for the fact that, he was my brother. I considered him my brother, man. We developed a close relationship. This is my carnal. So he's gone. He dips off to Carlton. But prior to him leaving to Carlton, let me fast forward rewind one time. He was knocking people out. I've told the story, and I'll reiterate it right here since it's a profile on Soldier Boy, because it wouldn't be Soldier Boy's story if I didn't tell it, because this was the funniest, the craziest, the realest fight that I ever seen or I was participating in from a distance. So vato named Tigre from F Troop gets there, right? And he was a resident. And for those of you that don't know what a resident is, meaning he was from down south, but he was from a neighborhood, like he kicked it with that neighborhood, but he wasn't actually part of that neighborhood. He wasn't a south sider. He wasn't representing the Sul, but he kicked it with them. And residents, man, a lot of them are with that business. People sleep on residents just because they're not gang members, but at the same time, man, they're going to program and they're going to function and get in where they fit in. So anyways, he gets to this compa, and he's a big boy, big old chest. I'm ready to put a Coca-Cola right here so I can sip it like that. So he's one of those type of individuals, and the Sureños kind of knew what was up, so they wanted to test his chin. They wanted to test his capabilities because he was a big boy. So they told him, hey, go call out Soldier Boy if you want to kick it in the Ranfla. This is coming from the vatos from Orange County. And so he comes up to Soldier Boy, and we're chilling. We're playing chess on the beds. We're on the short wall, the 2 bunk beds. And so we're playing chess, and the homeboy, Soldier Boy, he used to bump. So he got his headphones on, so his CL20s, getting it, right? Those of you that have been incarcerated, you guys know what CL20s are. So he was getting his issue on. This vato comes up, he's like, hey, I need to talk to you. And I'm like, what? And he's like, not you, bro, you. And Soldier Boy takes off one headphone. He said, what happened, bro? And he was like, hey, yeah, I need to get at you in cell 10 or whatever, 11, whatever, fucking, let's go get it. Soldier Boy's like, are you talking about me? The wind's blowing that way. I know he ain't talking to me. I said, he's talking to you, right? Soldier Boy said, here, bro. He paused his shit. He was like, hey, don't be bumping my shit either, bro. I like that song. I'll be right, be quick. I'll be right back. They end up going in the cell. And now everybody, it's as quiet as a church house mouse. Everybody is listening, waiting. So what's going on? Hey, I'm telling the Sureño, hey, what you want to bet? I got a caja right here, chili. Oh my. I'm telling the Africano, I got a caja over here, chicken. I know you like it. Oh my, I'm telling the Asian, hey, I got a caja right here, soy sauce. We're in, right? I already know. Everybody's willing and dilly. You know, so I got 4, I got 10, they're doing the micro mini man. Everyone's trying to auction shit off. They're trying to get paid. And everybody, I'm going to be quiet. Even the Sureños are like, I got Soldier Boy, right? They go in, okay? And you hear boom, 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 boom. You're like, ooh, this sounds loud. You got 2 big boys in there, man. You know what I mean? It's a wrestling match. Something shit's going on in there, you know? And then Soldier Boy peeks his head out the door and he says, and there's a vato there from Orange County, man, righteous, he respects. And he tells him, hey, I just knocked your homeboy out. Then he shuts the door. Then you hear boom, 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 boom. He comes out and he goes, I just woke him up. Puts the headphones back on and says, checkmate. I was like, motherfucker, right? You got me again. That's how Soldier Boy was. It was all business, nothing personal. He wasn't doing it to be funny. Everything he said and what he said he did was real. And I respect him for that. To this day, man, he doesn't talk just to talk, man. He thinks about what he says before he says it, and he's a real one. And I'm not trying to hype him up over any Sureños, because the Sureños, like I said, again, man, nothing but respect. And there was a lot of hitters, likewise, that were fucking doing the same thing. Homeboys were catching the blues. And I guess that's why they call it the blues. It was ugly, right? But at the same time, this is Soldier Boy's story, so I got to tell it. So he ends up getting shipped up north, right? Carl Holton, and I end up catching up with them a year later. And we picked up where we left off, man. He was in a different building. He was on Ebbets Hall. And because I went to, first I went to Preston, and from Preston I did 8 months. I ended up on Carl Holton, and I'm on Mono Hall. And I would see him in the school area, man. And we didn't really get to kick it like that because we're in 2 different buildings, like I said. And why they keep everybody separate, to each your own compa. But it was all love. It was all respect. When I would see him, I had a homeboy over there from the town, man. Shout out to the homeboy Max. And they were real cool. They were taitas just because of me, based on me, man. He was like, oh, yeah, I know Skinner from Mercedes, the homeboy. And boom, they ended up becoming friends. So I didn't see Soldier Boy for a long time. So what happens is Soldier Boy ends up getting out of YA. And the mentality Soldier Boy had was, yes, he was a norteño. He was from Northern California, but he was never like that. He was from a barrio, but he wasn't like hardcore into the politics or hardcore into the norteñoism. That wasn't him. He was just a motherfucker that, man, if you're coming at me, man, if you're tripping on the homeboys, I got him, right? I'm gonna knock fools out. That's his mentality. He wasn't a hardcore gay member. So he gets out, he starts to wiggle in the city of Stockton with some of his homeboys from his neighborhood, and he finds himself caught up in a lot of different situations. And he goes to prison. You know, and in prison, of course, the knockout artist he is, he gets involved in a couple things. And people see that, man, this vato can be utilized as the real one, because this vato has hands of stone. You know, anyone that's ever been around Soldier Boy knows him will tell you. That's just the way he was. That's the way he is. And so his career as far as in prison goes how it goes, man. It ended up how it ended up. I don't know. I can't sit here and tell you one way or the other. If he's active, if he's not active, I've never asked him. I don't care. That's neither here nor there. He's my brother in real life, in true life. And that's what mattered. But I know that he did do terms in the penitentiary and held his own for a very long time. as did he achieve status and things of that nature. That's his business. You know, we've never discussed it, man. We only discuss about barbecues and alcohol. We don't talk about prison or anything. We reminisce back on when we were kids and the trife and the tribulations that we went through. Anyways, with that being said, Stockton, stand up for a real one, a legend out of 6th Street, Sextonero, man. Mr. Soldier Boy de Stockton, a real one, man. I'll always highly appreciate it, man. About to save my life plenty of times. I would sit here and be a motherfucking fool and a liar and a fat mouth if I said I don't ultimately respect that vato. His name will never leave my mentality. It's locked in, ingrained, man. Because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. Here's another note, a quick fact. The vato did a tattoo. He does tattoos. He put a big old fucking body of 6th Street Gang on it. He put a V-I-S-T, I remember, on his arms. He was all tatting himself down. He's like, come here, Skinner, I'm going to give you a tattoo. This is when I didn't have a lot. I had a 14 on my eye and thought I was a fool. And he puts my mother's name on the back of my neck. Okay? And I remember getting that tattoo. I'm all happy. Like, yes, I get bang. I got my mom's name on my neck. Watch out. You know what I mean? I'm a gangster. And I showed the homeboy Spanky and he starts laughing. Because his vato spelled it wrong. Oh, man. And Soldier Boy's like, hey, don't even check though. The lettering's tight. Motherfucker, it's spelled wrong. He was like, so what? Remember? And I was like, I was getting all mad. And he was like, and I was like, it's all good, bro. You get it covered up, right? Bang, bang. Anyways, with that being said, man, I hope that you move fast with a purpose. I hope you get everything that you want coming to you. Just like Gunners Collective, stay tapping in there, man, as I will aggressively drop banger for banger, banger for banger. But also, we will profile a different individual here every single day. It's what I do. Please hit that like and subscribe, man. I got nothing but love and respect for all the gente, all the raza, all the people in general. Thank you, man, for supporting the gun and what I do. Gunners brand. We gonna give it all we got. Give it all we got, you know. With that being said, man, thumbs up if you like it. Thumbs down. Heavy as the head that wears the crown. If you don't, you know what it is. The gun. Over here profiling and styling. Woo! Bang, bang. Ric Flair shit.